Hi, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Christy. Welcome to Art After Dark. In this episode, we're getting honest about expectations versus reality. From dreams of time freedom and big licensing wins to the slow, messy, and totally normal truth of growing a creative career. Whether you're just starting out or knee-deep in pitch emails, we hope this conversation reminds you that you're not alone on this quest and that small steps forward do count. Let's dive in. All right. This week,
Whew, let's do it.
we are breaking down what we wish we knew starting out. So much.
On this quest. Starting out on this quest. Not a journey.
Yes.
I mean, so like when you started this creative business, what were some of the things that you thought about? What did you think it would be like? Or what did you imagine a successful creative career would be like before you started getting into it?
A lot of teachers and like people in this realm will say, visualize your day. What do you want your day to look like? And then backwards engineer that for yourself. So I always want just like what everybody wants, I think, time autonomy. Like I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And so that was something I really wanted out of this creative business. I wanted location freedom, even though ironically, I don't want to move. Like this place I've lived in my life where I'm like satisfied. Like every other place I've lived, I've been like, and where are we going next? And this time I haven't felt that way, which has been a unique experience.
Nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, it is nice. So I wanted those two things. And then I just wanted to make the work that I wanted to see in the world. It's like as simple as that.
Yeah.
What did you want?
I wanted to make all the money in the world so that I could just
I forgot the money piece.
living my best life with money. I'm not one of those artists that's like afraid of money or afraid of making money or afraid of charging people. I want the money. That's not to say that I don't struggle with it because I do, but so I definitely wanted the financial freedom. I wanted the location freedom and I wanted the time freedom just like you. And I have to say that on Friday, my husband and I went for a hike and it was like 10:30 or 11 in the morning on a Friday and there was like nobody on the trail and I was like, "Oh, this is actually what success. This is part of the success puzzle." Because here we are like we were laughing about it because we were like, yeah, normally this would be like a casual Friday. We get to wear denim to work, because that was the life that we lived. We both used to work for a credit union. We were in the marketing department at a credit union and like it was business casual on Fridays. And now we're like on a hike on a Friday morning. We went to get an acai bowl afterwards. Yeah. And I kept checking my email. I'm like, well, no emails have come in, so I haven't actually missed anything. So it was a guilt-free. So that's definitely what I thought would end up, those freedoms were what I was really hoping to achieve in having my own business. So I think I have one of the three.
Nice.
Yeah. I guess another question would be from what you hoped it would be like in the beginning, what does that look like in reality compared to what you had hoped it would be where you're at now?
Oh, so in reality, I thought I was going to make this art and people were just going to want it and I was going to have to just pitch a couple times and it was like magic. It was just going to happen.
Yeah.
That is not my story. My story is I sent out over 100 pitch emails and I got 2 licensing deals, which was fantastic. But that's not the dream I was sold by, I don't know, this like creative society or whatever. So I think for me, that's been a big, it took me a while to figure that out, I think. That, and I don't know why I thought any different, really. Like, in my experience in life, there is no such thing as like a get rich quick. It sounds too good to be true. It probably is. All those things. And it's just all gone much slower. than I had thought it would. I thought that I had this idea, I had this 5-year plan in my head
Mm,
because I still have a student loan and I work for a nonprofit. So once I hit a certain timeline, my debt will be forgiven. So I'm on that's like my timeline, right? So, okay, if I keep working towards this, then by the time my loan is like forgiven, hopefully this other career will replace my existing career. I would not say I'm on track to meet that goal at all. I did recently add up my income from my business and up to for this year to this date, which is we're recording this at the beginning of November, and I made over 2 grand this year, which I know sounds like nothing, but
that's not nothing.
last year I made less than $500. So it was
Yes.
this moment, yeah, it was this moment of, oh, that's like some exponential growth.
Yes.
That's progress. And I didn't feel like I had made any progress. Well, that's not true. I felt like I had made progress. I didn't think I had made that much. And then I was applying for this grant that asked me to calculate this number. And once I calculated it, I was like, because when I was starting to calculate it, I was like, this is going to be so depressing. And then I added it all up and I was like, huh, that's better than I thought.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's really good. I'm imagining in 5 years from now what that chart is going to look like, your annual chart. You're here, and then you went to here, and then each year it's just going to keep getting exponentially bigger and bigger.
hopefully, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you feel like is different in reality than your plans?
I will be totally transparent. I am older. This is not my first career.
Same.
I should know better than I should know. I'm of a certain age where I should know better than to think that what I see on social media is accurate and true. But I'm a baby when it comes to this career, this particular career, starting my
Mm-hmm.
art business. And so I had a naive mentality that I believed everything that people told me was going to also be true for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
when I see these people who we take courses from and they are having wild success, I didn't realize that 90% of their income is from teaching
Mm-hmm.
and a very small percentage is from what they're teaching. The actual thing that they're teaching, the income they earn from doing that thing, which would be licensing, is very small compared to the income they earn from educating us about how to license your work.
Yeah.
I assumed that if I just did what they told me, which was create patterns and pitch your work, that I too would make money, like that kind of money. And I think I've explained before, I've made less than $60 from my licensing contract, 2 years.
Yeah.
So that it was a real stark reality compared to what I was anticipating. Now, I will say that obviously, as we've discussed, like we both work other jobs. So I'm not able to devote all of my time to just building this business. So I understand too that it will be very slow. I wish that when I had started, someone had said, this is like a very long runway. If you are planning on making a living or making money, let's not even a living. If you're planning on making money licensing your artwork, it is a very long runway. You need to develop your ideas, create your motifs, create your patterns, put together your collections, put your portfolio together, find the companies, research who the people are. And you want to be smart about it because you want to be successful. So you're not like pitching your work to everybody. You're really narrowing who you think you're going to be a best fit with. You email those people, they don't respond. You follow up. Maybe you get a fish and you get to sign a contract. Then it's 3 or 6 months before you might get a payout. And then it's who knows?
Yeah. In
So it's
my
a very
case,
long runway.
it was 10 months before a payout from one of my licensing deals. And I know that people have told me that.
I
Or
don't know if I ever heard it.
I feel like I've heard a lot of people say licensing is a long game, right? It's about relationship building. But I guess maybe people hadn't told me exactly how long it took to actually see the money from the licensing deal. And when I got that email that was saying, "Oh, we're ready to pay you now," I was like, "For what?" Like, oh, I was like, "I'm getting paid for this?" It has been so long. Yeah, it's wild. I completely
Yeah.
agree. Like the it's like they sell the dream, but they don't give you all the details, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that they, or maybe it could be two things. It could be I am rose-colored glasses and I'm just thinking I'm not going to worry about these red flags. They're not really red flags. They're just like, I'm not going to worry about these cautionary tales. Or it could be that the people who are sharing their experience are romanticizing it. They're looking back at it because they've achieved what they want to
Yeah.
achieve. It's very easy to go back and just be like, yes, oh yeah, I did have to wake up at 5 a.m. to do this thing in my window of time that I did. And it's, yeah, it's actually really hard. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
really hard to fit it in between all the other responsibilities that you have. And I know you and I do not have children, so that's even one more thing that we don't have on our list, where I think many people in this industry do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I bought into this idea that it was not going to be a quick and easy way to make money, but certainly not as long as it is. And I definitely anticipated I would be farther along
Mm-hmm.
than I am.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Um, yeah, it is what it is. I'm also trying to just be cool about it because, like, I do have a full-time job, and
Yeah.
in addition to my full-time job, part of my business is doing graphic design, which is not something I talk about very much. But then, like, I just got a new graphic design client, which I'm grateful for, but also, oh, that's even less time to
Last
work on
time.
the patterns and the illustration and the things and the gouache painting and all of this. But it's an important part of my business that allows me to do the other things when I can do them.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading my notes. When you see me
Yeah.
looking over here, I'm
That's
just
all
reading
right.
my notes. I'm not going to try to pretend like I'm making this all up out of my head. What are some of the early challenges that
Mm.
made you realize the quest wasn't what you expected?
Yes. We were still hashtag no journeys around here.
Hashtag
Um,
no journeys.
no journeys, only quests. Early challenges that made me realize the quest wasn't what I expected. So I think one of them is what I already mentioned is the pure number of pitches I had to send out to
Yeah.
even get a bite. That for me was like a humongous lesson. I am able to approach pitching in I am so detached from the entire process. I am literally like a robot sending the emails. Not that I don't care. I care. But like
Yeah.
I have no emotional feeling about the process. I remember the first pitch emails I sent. I was like so afraid to hit the send button, and I again naively thought they're going to respond to me like by the end of the day.
Just get right
Oh,
on that.
yeah, they're just going to get right on it. No, absolutely not. So I think that was something that was a challenge that I hadn't expected it to be quite so intense. I
Mm-hmm.
think the other thing is, and of course, again, I should have known this, but I think it's that old idea of the more you practice something, the better you get at it. And I think we live in this world where we just think we're going to just be good at stuff. I'll never
Because that's
forget
what we
my,
see.
yeah, I remember when my niece was very young, we took her ice skating and she was terrible. Like she got on the ice and couldn't do it. And she thought that she was just going to be able to get out there and glide on by and it was going to be beautiful and wonderful. And I think about that all the time when
Mm-hmm.
I think something is going to be so easy and come so naturally. And then I have to think about that memory and be like, why would you think that? Like, you have to
Yeah.
practice to be good at
Yeah.
something. And so when I look at my first patterns, And now the patterns I'm making now, they are wildly different. And that's because I've drawn more, I've made more
Hmm.
patterns, I've learned about more techniques to make patterns. I've continued to develop that skill, and I still have tons to learn and tons to practice. But I started in 2020, almost the end of 2024, and like I still see patterns that other people make that I am just like, I want to do that, which is
Yeah.
inspiring, but also it just shows me like you have to just, it's like a muscle. You just have to keep working it and flexing it and stretching it, and it will get better. But if you don't do that, then you're going to stay in the same spot, and you
Yeah.
got to keep being curious about everything.
I will say for your 100 pitch emails with two responses in
Mm,
marketing, a 2% response rate is success. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
really good, actually.
yeah.
I think for me, one of the challenges with the licensing game, it is the sheer number that you need to send, in my experience. Obviously, everyone has their
Yes.
own experience, but also in my experience, my first licensing contract was with my first choice company, which is like remarkable. And I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm not making a lot of money off of it, but it was a company that I felt really strongly about and I feel aligned with, and I like their philosophy and their vision. And it took almost a year between the time I sent the pitch and the time that they agreed to license my work. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was, yeah, it is for me, the challenging part is finding those companies and doing the research. And I do keep like an Airtable database where I keep track of all the companies. And then I've got like a whole system for how I rate them and I keep notes. But like the actual process of researching, that's a challenge for me. I find
Mm-hmm.
that I have very little patience for doing that, even though I know it's like one of the most important steps. That was not something I anticipated that would be
Mm.
so consuming. But yeah, that's definitely one of my challenges that I didn't expect. But I, like you, also was in the beginning of pitching, felt really like, oh God, this is like life or death. Are they going to like it? Are they not going to like it? And then at a certain point, you just realize like these people are getting so many emails and it's not personal.
Yeah.
And you just, everyone's busy and you just need to follow up and keep going, like literally keep going. So
Mm-hmm. This, you might have just said your piece of advice, but
keep going,
yeah, I was
guys.
there. What would your piece of advice be that you wish somebody had given you to navigate those challenges?
Yeah, I think for me, I wish, okay, first of all, okay, when it comes to making art, I wish someone had told me you do not need all the art supplies. Okay, number one,
Mm,
you don't need all the art supplies. You want them, but you don't need
yeah.
them. I wish someone had told me that you actually can work with a limited color palette. I think
Mm,
having all of the colors, as beautiful as they are and as much fun as I love like to have painting with them, it does slow me down. I've been exploring this limited color palette idea and I'm blown away
mm,
by how much easier it is and the range of colors you can get. So if I had just not bought all the art supplies and kept to a limited color palette, I think I would have been farther along than I am now. And also this idea of I wish in the beginning someone had said, it's going to be hard, but please do not get distracted by all the shiny objects. In the beginning, I was trying to do so many different things. And I was just like what is that phrase? It's like master of none. What is it? Jack of all
yes, jack of all trades,
trades,
master of none.
master of none.
Yeah.
That was me. It is me. That was me. It is me. I'm trying to shed some of these things that have been holding me back and just go all in on one thing. And that one thing for me right now is like painting and gouache and then maybe adding like a little bit of mixed media on top because I can't resist, but focusing mainly on gouache. And so I wish those things in terms of the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
But in the business side of it, it's just patience. And it's even more so when you're trying to balance it with a full time job. When this is not your whole gig, be even slower than you expect. And so
Yeah.
it's really just understand that and be cool. Basically is what I wish someone had told me. So
Be cool.
be cool. What about you? What advice would you give someone who's just starting out?
So for the art piece, I like how you gave the art advice. Okay, the advice that I wish someone had given me much earlier, and I still struggle to follow this advice, but when I start designing with a product in mind, my work is better.
Mm,
Yeah, and I know that even it annoys me that like that's the case because I really like the idea of just follow your bliss and make the thing that you want to see. But then I find it's really hard to pitch that work because then you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like you're trying to like make this pattern work for all these businesses or these companies you're interested in pitching. But like recently I set my own project, which was like design 3 bandanas. It was a very specific format. And
mm-hmm,
so I had pitched this particular bandana company before, and but I had not sent a pitch that was tailored for them. I had just sent a pitch that was like, here's some of my artwork. I think it goes with the aesthetic of your company. I love your company's mission, blah, blah, blah. And they were very kind. They were just like, thanks, but no, not for now. And now I feel like I'm ready to pitch that company again.
mm-hmm.
And I actually have like ready to go artwork designed exactly for their product, which is a square thing in kind of a large format. Um, I feel like my pitch will be better received. I feel like my pitch is stronger
Yeah,
because I actually had a product in mind.
yeah.
And the first time that I did that, I took this course by Elizabeth Silver where she taught that process. And so I made these patterns that were for like party paper, little paper plates and napkins and a tablecloth for Halloween. And the same with that stuff. Like everything I made for that collection worked so much better for that particular type of product.
Mm-hmm.
Those pitches were so much stronger because of it. So I think you can balance it. I think you don't have to start every project with knowing what it's going to go on. But I would tell people to try it. Try it once or twice and see what happens. And I think you'll be surprised.
I have never tried that. I'm
It's
more of the I'm going to make what I want to make,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to find the companies where I think this will work because I'm afraid to commit. What if I go through creating these bandana designs to pitch to this company and then they don't want it? Now, yes, obviously you'll have the artwork, and
Mm-hmm.
depending on how you've created it, you can repurpose it or adjust it in some way for other things. I I find it hard for me personally to work in that way.
Well, yeah, it
I
was not.
definitely see the benefit though.
Yeah, it was not natural for me. The first time when I took that little, it was like a mini class. It was something super affordable, and I just was like, I was in a creative rut at the time. Yeah, whatever. I'll give you my $37 or whatever it was, and took that little mini course. And I have come back to that idea many times since I took that course and been like pleasantly surprised. It also opened up my eyes to like, I think because of who I learned surface design from, I was like hyper focused on fabric.
Fabric.
Okay, there is no money in fabric. At least all the people I've talked to, it's
Yeah.
amazing. You
Yeah.
get licensing deals. There's probably some artists who make tons of money from their fabric contracts, but the majority of people that I have talked to have basically said, "Oh, I don't do fabric anymore because
There's no
it's,
money.
there's no money in it. It's not worth their time."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and
Boy,
so
but doesn't it look pretty to advertise that on social media though? You know?
totally. I mean,
Like, woo, sexy.
I have a quilt made with my own fabric. Like, it's fun. I mean, but I have made so little money off of my fabric contract. It's just like,
Yeah.
I think once I got that deal and saw what it got me, I was kind of like, oh,
Mm.
I'm gonna I'm gonna change my focus. Not
Especially when you think about like fabric. Obviously, there are different schools of thought about this, but with fabric, the idea being that you need a collection of
It's a lot of
12
work.
patterns in two or three colorways and you're getting
Hmm.
pennies back for it. That's a
Hmm.
lot of work. A
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah, I think if I had a large audience, there's some of those, gosh, I can't think of her name. She runs that company where she teaches people how to write quilt patterns.
Oh,
I don't remember her name.
yeah. I don't
Anyway,
know who she is.
somebody will put it in the comments, they know. But anyway, she basically built her business on teaching people that skill. And then she got a fabric contract because, of course, she had this huge audience of people who were making her patterns.
Right.
So I think when you go that direction, to me, it makes more sense. But I think unless you have just really, your artwork just speaks to a really particular audience, I think it's a tough area to license in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Design for certain products in mind. That's really good advice. If you could sit down with your younger self from 4 years ago,
Oh, she's so much younger.
oh, what would you say to encourage Christy on this quest?
I would say keep going. The thing I tell myself still now is to embrace the slowness because it's there. Stop fighting it. Just accept its presence and
Yeah.
like let you slowly drift where you want.
Yeah.
I think that's for me been the hardest lesson is like the amount of time it takes to build something and to feel like you're even to feel like you're getting a little bit toward where you want to go. It feels like it takes so long. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
What would
Good
you tell
advice.
your younger self?
I would tell Stacy from 4 years ago. Yeah, I definitely think accepting the slowness of it and trying not to, like really don't get caught up in the shiny objects that other people are doing. Obviously, it's great to see what other people are doing because it does inspire me and it makes me feel like, oh, like this person's doing that thing, I can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
But also just being a little bit more realistic about what it takes and how long it takes would have really been good advice. And also don't stop. I really like recently had a mini crisis over my business about whether or not to just stop and just make art a hobby because I had really lost direction and didn't know what to do anymore. And I think part of it is because I was just taking in so much from other people that I didn't even know what I wanted anymore. So trying to just like stay close to yourself and do what feels right for you and not get totally distracted by what other people are doing. Again, it's good to know so that
Mm-hmm.
you know what's possible and what maybe you want to reach for, but someone's goals aren't don't necessarily have to be your goals. So just to listen to yourself, I think would be yeah.
Yeah, which it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to listen to yourself because we're told this, especially Americans. Like, there's this obsession with, I hate the phrase bootstrapping. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in it. But there is still this idea that you can do anything.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to this financial podcast, and her motto was, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. And I think about that a lot because it's just the truth. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want, which means you have to take time and think about what you really want, which we're not trained to do. Like, we're not rewarded in the same way as other things to take the time and think about what you really want. Yeah.
Yeah. And also like it's okay to pivot. Like it's okay
Yes.
if you're going down one path and you're like, this isn't for me, you don't have to stick with it. You can change. I mean, that's part of the beauty of having your own business. But you also have to think about, have I given this really enough before I
Yeah.
change? I tend to bounce before I, like, if it doesn't work right away, I'm like, I'm out. That didn't work. I'm closing my Etsy shop forever. Delete. Which is not fair. It's not fair. But that's because I also am on like my third career and I'm like
Hmm.
older and I want things to happen faster and I feel like I'm running out of time, and that's
Hmm.
not the way to do it. And I think that's where I ended up a couple weeks ago in this little crisis situation. I've walked back from the ledge. Everything is fine. I feel really good now. But yeah, it's a lot. It can be a lot. And I would just say, just make sure to take time to be quiet with yourself and what you want and follow that and don't get distracted. But if you do, it's okay. Just
Yeah.
recognize it. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thank you. Good chat.
Thanks so much for listening to Art After Dark. If you connected with today's episode, we'd love for you to subscribe and share it with a friend who's on their own creative quest. And if you want to follow along with our work, you'll find all the links in the show notes. Until next time, keep creating, and we'll see you after dark.
I want to know, what is the weirdest thing you have on your desk right now?
The weirdest thing. I mean, this is kind of weird for your, like, for your desk, I think.
Oh,
My
vitamins.
my vitamins, except for my Saturday flap broke, so I had to keep it taped shut. And today's Sunday. Oh, I do have Sundays in here. Yeah. I think this is the weirdest thing I have on my desk.
It's pretty good.
What is the weirdest thing you have on yours?
I am not at my desk.
Okay. What is the weirdest thing
So,
you have in front of you?
the weirdest thing in front of me, gosh, probably nothing. But the weirdest thing in my vicinity,
Yeah.
I have two boogie boards that are in here with me.
Do you boogie board regularly?
No, not regularly, but it is really fun when you do it.
Yeah. My
I mean,
husband does it.
sometimes it can be a lot of just hitting the rocks in the sand, but it's
Yeah.
a good time. I'm not sorry I bought the boogie boards.
Where do you go boogie boarding?
Well, my favorite beach is Zuma.
Wow. Yeah. Surfers, man.
Yeah. I'm not a surfer. I am barely a boogie boarder. But it was the first beach when I moved to California. It was the first beach that I went to. It's like that iconic California long sandy beach. Somebody told me they used to film Baywatch at that beach.
Oh, for sure.
It's actually been my favorite beach ever since. I go to other beaches and I'm like, because I like a beach that's like not a carnival. Like, I don't like a big boardwalk nonsense. And yeah, it's just a chill beach. I like it. And there's surfers there who I love to watch.
Yeah. Zuma is beautiful. Good for you. We got engaged at Point Doom, which
Ooh,
is just
nice.
down the street from, but they do a lot of commercial filming there. And yeah, boogie boards and vitamins. We're taking care of ourselves.
Yeah. At least we're trying.